James came into this world fighting. It was 1969. The first cry was weak. The doctors looked worried. Something wasn't right. James had a hole in his heart. His parents were terrified. Would their baby survive? The first few weeks were touch and go. Machines beeped constantly. Nurses rushed in and out. James's tiny chest rose and fell with each labored breath. His mother rarely left his side. She sang to him, prayed for him. His father paced the halls, feeling helpless. Slowly, James grew stronger, but the hole remained. The doctors said he'd need surgery. Not now, but soon. For now, they could only wait and watch. Every day was a gift, every smile, a miracle. James's parents cherished each moment. As James grew, so did their worries. What kind of life would he have? Could he ever be normal? The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. James was a fighter. He had survived against the odds, and he wasn't done fighting yet. James's childhood was unlike any other. No running, no jumping, no rough play. His heart couldn't handle it. He watched other kids from the window. They laughed and played. He sat alone with his books. It wasn't fair, but it was his life. His parents were overprotective. They had to be. Any excitement could be dangerous. Birthday parties were quiet affairs. Holidays were subdued. James learned to find joy in small things. A new book, a sunny day, a rare outing to the park. School was a challenge. James was smart, too smart sometimes. He devoured knowledge, but he couldn't keep up physically. PE was out of the question. Recess was spent in the library. He made few friends. Most kids didn't understand. They called him weird, different. He retreated further into his books. At home, James's condition strained the family. His parents argued about money, medical bills piled up. His older sister resented the attention he got. She acted out, got into trouble. James felt guilty. He hadn't asked for this, he just wanted to be normal. But normal seemed impossible. When James was 7, a doctor suggested something unusual. Red wine, a small amount each day. It might help his heart. His parents were skeptical, but desperate. They agreed to try. James hated the taste, but he drank it dutifully. Anything for a chance at a normal life. The treatment was controversial. Some doctors praised it, others condemned it. James's parents faced criticism. From family, from friends, from strangers. They didn't care. They'd do anything to help their son, even if it meant breaking rules, even if it meant risking judgment. For a while, it seemed to work. James had more energy. His cheeks had more color. He could walk further without getting tired. His parents dared to hope. Maybe this was the answer. Maybe James could have a normal childhood after all. But it wasn't to last. The side effects started slowly. Headaches, nausea. Then came the nosebleeds. Violent, sudden, terrifying. The doctors were baffled. Was it the wine? Something else? They ran more tests. James spent more time in hospitals. The red wine experiment was over. It was back to the drawing board, back to uncertainty. The decision to move came suddenly. A doctor in Texas, groundbreaking work, heart surgeries on children. It could help James. They packed up their lives, said goodbye to everything they knew. Texas was waiting. The journey was long. James was excited and scared. A new place, new doctors, new hope, but also new fears. What if it didn't work? The Texas landscape rolled by, endless, like James's uncertain future. The hospital was huge, intimidating. James felt small, lost. The first meeting with the doctor was encouraging. New techniques, promising results. James dared to dream of a normal heart. Section 5. Life on the Road. The Carnival Chronicles. The carnival seemed like a crazy idea, but they were desperate. No routes, no fixed address, perfect for a family on the run. James's father got a job operating rides. His mother sold tickets. It was a new life. Exciting, scary, always moving. Living in a trailer was an adjustment. Cramped, noisy, but it was home. The carnival stayed the same, a constant in their ever-changing world. Money was tight. Some weeks were good. Others, they barely scraped by. James learned to find joy in simple things. A free ride on the Ferris wheel, the kindness of strangers. Slowly, things improved. They found their rhythm. For the first time in years, they felt some stability. Section 6. Nightmares and Hospital Hauntings. The nightmares started when James was 12. Vivid, terrifying. He'd wake up screaming, drenched in sweat, his heart racing dangerously. His parents were at a loss. What was happening to their son? The carnival doctor was stumped. They needed help. A child psychologist at a local hospital had a theory. Post-traumatic stress. From all the hospital stays, the tests, the fear. James's mind was processing it all. At night, when he couldn't control it. The diagnosis made sense, but knowing didn't stop the dreams. They tried everything. Warm milk before bed, soothing music, even medication. Nothing worked completely. The nightmares came and went, unpredictable, exhausting. James dreaded going to sleep. He'd stay up late reading. Anything to avoid the darkness, the memories, the fear. His family suffered too. Sleepless nights, constant worry. The cramped trailer amplified every sound, every whimper, every scream. They were all on edge. Tempers flared more often. Patience wore thin, but they stuck together. They had to. It was all they had. Section 7. Carnival calamities, accidents, and adversities. The carnival life was dangerous, especially for someone with a weak heart. James knew the risks, but he wanted to help, to feel useful. One night, he was helping set up a ride. A heavy piece slipped, crushed his foot. The pain was excruciating, but the fear was worse. Would his heart handle the stress? The nearest hospital was hours away. They had to wait for an ambulance. James's mother held him, sang to him, like when he was a baby. His father paced, cursed, blamed himself. The carnival folk rallied around them, offering help, comfort, but the wait seemed endless. At the hospital, there were more complications. James's unusual medical history confused the doctors. They were cautious, too cautious. The foot wasn't set properly. It would cause problems for years to come. Another scar, another reminder of his fragility. Recovery was slow, painful. James couldn't work, couldn't help. He felt useless, a burden. Depression set in. Dark thoughts crept in. Why was life so hard? Why him? The carnival moved on without them. They had to find a new path. Again, always adapting, always struggling. It was exhausting. Section 8. Battling the bottle from addiction to recovery. It started innocently enough. A sip here, a drink there. The carnival was full of temptations. And James was tired of being good, of being careful. Alcohol numbed the pain. Physical and emotional, it was an escape. A dangerous one. By 16, James was drinking heavily, in secret at first, then openly. His parents were distraught. They'd fought so hard to keep him alive. Now he was killing himself slowly. Arguments were frequent, violent. James would storm off, disappear for days. His heart condition worsened, but he didn't care. Rock bottom came at 18, a massive heart attack, induced by alcohol and stress. James nearly died. Again. The doctors were blunt. Stop drinking or die. It was that simple, and that impossible. James was addicted, scared, lost. Enter Sarah, a girl from another carnival family. She saw through James's pain, recognized his worth. She stood by him, through withdrawal, through therapy, through the darkest days. Slowly, James found his way back, to sobriety, to health, to hope. It wasn't easy, but with Sarah, it was possible. Section 9. A new heart, a new life. At 25, James got the call. A heart was available. It was risky, but it was his best chance. Sarah held his hand as they wheeled him into surgery. His parents prayed in the waiting room. Hours passed. Finally, news. The surgery was a success. James had a new heart. Recovery was grueling, painful, but different this time. James had hope, real hope. For the first time, he could imagine a future, a normal life. He threw himself into physical therapy, into learning about his new heart. He was determined to make the most of this gift. As he grew stronger, James discovered new passions. His love for science and technology bloomed. He devoured books on engineering, on computer science. He dreamed of building things, of making a difference, of using his second chance to help others. Sarah was there every step of the way, encouraging him, supporting him, loving him. They made plans for a future together, for a life beyond the carnival. It wouldn't be easy. James still had health issues, still had bad days, but now he had something he'd never truly had before: hope. Section 10. reflecting on resilience James's journey. Looking back, James marveled at his journey. From a sickly baby to a man with dreams. It hadn't been easy, far from it. But also love, hope, resilience. He'd faced death multiple times, and won, the good and the bad. It had taught him empathy, patience, the value of life, of health, of love. He faced each day with determination, with gratitude. As he looked to the future, James felt ready for whatever came next. And he had a story to tell, a story of resilience,